space. So it would be some of the uses would be limited.
Discuss the plan of use for $1.3 million budget in the communications and utility account groups.
Okay. So the $1.3 million budget is broken up as follows. 809K is requested for telephone direct charge, and that includes like high-speed internet and drug tip line. 387K is for mobile airtime, which is for all of the city's mobile connection needs, cell phones. Thank you so much.
Okay. We have one public comment with D. Marquis Hall. Make sure it's related to information technology. Marquis, thank you. You have 3 seconds.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. City of Wilmington, I'm thankful for you allowing me to speak, to ask questions. I'm thankful for the IT director. Everything that he shared is key, poignant, needed. Rochelle Wilson, the only public commenter that stood up, that spoke, I'm thankful to her as well, because she asked an important question. She asked, how is the community impacted by
Okay, Mr. Marquis, what is your question? What's your comment relating to community technology? Let's not repeat what she just said. Come on, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Real time. We want everything quick. We want everything now. We want everything to happen as soon as we need it. This morning, we were made aware online by an email that got sent out by Nixle that WPD was involved in a shooting.
Mr. Marquis, this is a budget hearing. This is not maybe you don't know, this is not a regular city council meeting. This is a budget hearing. I mean, just stay with me. So if not,
you can stop interrupting me, I will.
Well, I'm going to interrupt because I'm called a point of order, and I'm going to have to cut you off because this is not about what's happening in the public today.
We need the video.
Marcia, I'm going to have to
as soon as it's made ready from police body cameras, when somebody's shot,
could you please
when somebody's hurt.
Madam Chair, he has his 3 minutes. Just let him speak. He has his 3 minutes. It's public comment. Just let him speak. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Councilman Spadola.
Wait a minute.
So
point of order. Isn't this public? I'm just asking a question, Chris. Isn't this for public? I mean, for budget hearing?
This is for the budget.
Okay, well, I know what I'm doing. That's why I'm sitting here. And he has 58 more seconds to talk about the budget, Councilman Spadola. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not reading from a sheet right now. I actually can read from a sheet. If I were reading from a sheet, I can read from a PowerPoint. But this community needs for our city to work alongside it, because we have to grow together. And when someone's hurt, when someone is injured by an arm of our city, a branch of our city government, whether it's because of negligence or because of someone doing something criminal that's in a position of trust, we have to be made aware in real time. The real-time crime unit that WPD has, we need to make sure is ready and able to let people know what's going on when it's happening. Fire department, they need to be made aware of when there's an emergency, and they need to be sent out there to do what they need to do. And technology it brings everything together. And I just want to, we see what's going on, but we have to respond to it.
You have 10 seconds.
And I appreciate the time, even though I was interrupted so horribly and ungraciously, but I'll be back. I'll be back again. God bless you all.
Thanks a lot for your public.
Councilmember Darby?
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. I can't talk for long, but I have two things that I wanted to hit on for tonight. One thing was, I know I have requested body cam footage of the police shooting that happened here in the city of Wilmington, and I'm still waiting. I'm so sorry. It's hard for me to speak. A suicidal ideation call for the police. They came. The guy was stabbing himself, and they asked him to stop and said that he came at them with the knife and then shot him. And this is why it's so important. And I talk about us having a community response team. We need social workers. We need mental health people responding to those type calls. No one in a mental health situation is going to listen to any commands, right? So I think this is an example of why we need a community response team. I had spoke to the administration and the police chief and had several council people with me in that meeting about the community response team. We have a grant for $40,000 from a national program called LEAP, Law Enforcement. I was told by the administration and the police chief that they do not want to start a community response team, that they had other priorities and focus. This is a prime example of why we need one, and we must demand it, and we're going to ask for the unedited raw footage of what happened when that guy was shot by the police officer who was in a mental health crisis. He was not a criminal. He did not commit a crime. He was not. He was hurting himself and needed help and did not get help. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two announcements. Tomorrow over to Eastside Charter along with Aaron Bass. We have Catholic Charities coming out.
Mr. Smith. Virtually, we have Christina Kelly. Are you still with us, Ms. Kelly?
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you so much for an opportunity to speak tonight. To begin with, I wanted to wish everybody a happy 420. And my comment tonight, I actually wish to read you a brief news article. This article states, and I apologize, this is a WDEL article published today. I apologize, yesterday, by Mr. Sean Green. This article reads, Wilmington City Councilwoman Zanthia Oliver received a public reprimand.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Point of order.
Okay, I won't read you the article. However, I do want to mention that this is not the first incident of this. So I was hoping that somebody could address this issue for future purposes, and that we ensure that we are reading entire pieces of legislation before voting yes, no, present, or otherwise. And that B, we don't come up with excuses to excuse ourselves from fraudulent activity. So point of order or not, this is a huge concern and it should be addressed. And the public and the taxpayers should have a right to speak on our council people participating in activities like this. I'm not going to go into the 2018 incident where the same organization and the same person was granted $185,000 that also came back from HUD as being a fraudulent transaction. But again, this is something that needs to be discussed, and this is the appropriate venue to discuss it. So thank you again, Mr. President, for an opportunity to bring that up.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kelly. We appreciate you. At this time, I don't believe there are any other members from the public who have signed up virtually, individuals. I think that is a rule that we need to take a look at and have a conversation around where the public can't address council members. We do want to be respectful, but again, we want to be held accountable and we want to respect our constituents. We don't want to be mayhem, but I believe that we have to just have the conversation, because right now, just for not allowing the community to speak about things that are relevant, that are happening in Wilmington, if it involves a public official, I don't think that's totally fair. And especially when we can turn around and almost do the same thing to a colleague. So we just have to be careful not to cross that line. We want to respect each other. We want our constituents to respect us. I understand there is passion. I understand that. We just have to make sure that we are just being respectful as elected officials. We've already had people from the community come and tell us that they don't want to see that. So I think that we just have to be mindful